Attention gamers. Today we will be talking about how to deal with the level of autism you will encounter in your teammates when playing League of Legends and actually use it to your advantage. The best way for me to explain it is to tell a story about my college years. When I was a freshman, there was a guy that lived on my floor with some level of autism, and I'm not talking 2026T. I'm autistic neurodivergent because I am introverted autistic. This guy was big like strong but fat, strong, easily 100 pounds more than any of the other freshmen, just big boned, and his hyper-focused interest was on MMA and wrestling. So in the dorms he would go around and just non-consensually put us in random holds and headlocks at maximum strength, trying to get us to black out and break our neck. But remember, there was no reasoning with him, and based off his size and ADHD obsession with learning the most effective holds, my strategy in dealing with him boiled down to a few things. I knew that provoking him in any form, whether it be looking at him or saying anything to him, would result in me getting arm barred on the ground in seconds, so I didn't draw attention to him. But then when I did randomly find myself in his sights and therefore in one of his wrestling holds, I would just immediately pretend that he got me to black out. I got exceptionally good at making my body go limp, and in doing so I never had to deal with him putting the full strength into a hold and actually harming me because he thought he won right away. The trick was to identify this early, and be submissive. And that's the exact strategy I use when dealing with autistic League of Legends teammates. The example in this game was my mid laner. I'm locked in Malphite, but I didn't want to play Malphite, I wanted to play Bollywood Robin Hood because I have a newfound love for how broken his kid is when you don't even have to play him well to get kills, and then you have all the tools to be a stealthy little asshole instead of getting caught in your escape route. Anyways, my mid is today's autist who said he absolutely needs to play full AP Tom Kench mid and he needs me to pick a tank instead to unlock that for him. My Mel is telling him to fuck off, he's wrong and we need damage. My team's actual tank isn't saying anything and Kai is over here murmuring some bullshit about how he is going to hard carry regardless. Anyways, I immediately know this Tom is the type to put people in chokeholds while they are just trying to shower in peace in the dorm bathroom, so I go ultra submissive and say, yes your honor, I will play Malphite even though I don't fully know how to play him top. We get in game and you can see the mentally unstable catfish is temporarily tamed because I fulfilled his request of playing a tank top before muting himself. Mal is the type of moron who would literally get a broken arm by refusing to tap out when the autist has her in a full arm bar purely out of pride, so I just distract him by allowing him to essentially make all of my decisions, as well as you see him unmute every time he needs to talk, like when he declares he will be getting 10 kills this game. Pure psychopath behavior. That said, I hopped into the replay to see if he had that fat jack dad bod strength to accommodate the screws in his head that weren't fully tightened, and after seeing the tongue lashing he gave to this foxy hottie while playing the 1v1 good enough to pass for my sad plat elo, I was feeling more confident in my decision to give into his bullshit. He of course has to unmute right after getting first blood to harass our Mel for saying he won't have damage while muting and unmuting himself more than a mime who has to take work calls. He tells our jungler to play top side because he will be in the river, only for our jungler to play top side while he never shows up in the river. But the number one rule is you never ever flame one of these unstable people. That would be like me looking my college dorm mate in the eyes and saying, I bet you can't break my neck, you weak little bitch. That said, we get our first opportunity for me to remind this unstable diabetic toad that I literally revolved my entire game around what he wanted when there is some dispute over who gets custody of the Rift babies. They secure the objective, but then Kanye gets beat up so bad you'd think we were his 2012 Jewish business managers, and then I make sure this molten ram doesn't get away because I want to have a big win in front of my schizo, and that's exactly what I do. He takes to chat to remind me that I made the right decision while fucking Tel Aviv Mel has to comment to keep this entire situation closer to nuclear than it has to be. If you are in a game with an identified league autist who wants to be validated, don't be this Mel, it literally will do nothing good. He then tells Leona to ward Dragon, and my guess is so that I can use my newly acquired teleport to take a one trip in first class straight into Team Fightsville, but unfortunately she isn't as submissive as I am and didn't place a ward, so I need to wait for the next wave of blue robed academy babies to get to lane so that I can book my flight. I zoom across the map as a turquoise testicle, and then when I arrive my first order of business is to take stock of the licking that this fat frog is up to. I deem it safe to do a little ring around the rosy surprise bitch over the wall combo against the fox, and then if you think a misfortune is going to do literally anything into 2 tanks, you live on the wrong planet. Kanye comes in just to get ass blasted back to oblivion, and then after a wildly successful teleport I quickly apologize like a submissive cuck to make sure this Tom stays in the zone, if not purposely trying to lose the game. He then of course has to remind Mel that she made a comment about how building AP would be a lack of damage, and my god, this bitch is just not skilled in the art of not pissing off mentally unstable people, especially when you just know by their antics that they are just a few plays away from completely losing their mind and running touchdowns if they don't get their way. That said, I almost mess up when I get word that the licking lunatic is in the forest babysitting both his and my laner, so I rush down just in time to see the foxy hottie get digested, and then I do a prompt nose tackle on the bull. I'm just praying to the rock gods that this whiskered amphibious fuck doesn't die due to me rotating late, but the pillow fight between 3 champions with a collective BMI of 90 ends in us winning the all-you-can-eat buffet. Mel continues poking a literal bear that we are stuck in a cage with like a total narcissistic dipshit, while I'm practically saying ooh woo and asking for more advice just to keep him distracted. While Killdozer Kench types essays in chat, I get ready to be a gracious host of our team's weaponized dragonfly by promptly pushing all my buttons and just kind of existing in the presence of this fight #tank gameplay, but it ends up working out when I don't even need to burn my ult. The top heavy toad in his top hat is now godlike, but our dark web praying mantis goes down right after. I join forces with Mr. Liquor and things are going well until he gets the idea to nosedive under an active volcano, and that unfortunately is where I draw the line on my submissiveness, as I won't die like a dumbass, but I will be sure as shit to issue an empty apology to make sure his single death doesn't set him off. Turns out a rare Pokemon Go spawn is showing on all our apps in the South Side River, so everyone and their fat Aunt Betty is tailgating. I'm pinging my ult cooldown as a way to say I'm about as useful as an OnlyFans girl is to society for the next 10 seconds, but the boys want to go in anyway. Things go well because this is Plaid and idiots engage into 5 of us, and then I sort of pace back and forth like someone contemplating if they are going to shit their pants or not until the timer rings that signals 1 shot o'clock, whereas a full tank I can absolutely embarrass someone playing a right-click chick who is casually 4 levels lower than me. But this wasn't all sunshine and shower sex in this one, no, as at one point my team decides to pick an absolutely idiotic zero brain cell slipping on the puddle of your own drool teamfight deep in the enemy forest fight when no objective in that entire zip code is even up. I'm getting pinged to teleport and I'm thinking I don't know macro gameplay well, but my gut is telling me just to take advantage of everyone being at the party and just to unleash a violent amount of vandalism on the other side of the map in peace, but then my anxiety peaks and I end up busting my TP nut way late out of social pressure, which was arguably the worst thing that I could have done there, and you can immediately see how quickly all the rapport I built with retard Randy could go to shit if I'm not careful. At that point moving forward I vowed to glue myself to the ass of that catfish per his request, but he manages to die alone and start prepping a bunch of hate threads on Reddit about how he lives in a third world country when it comes to his teammates and he has it so hard, but I know I need to make his death worth so that he can feel the slightest bit of self-validation that him dying 1v5 was actually the right move, and I do that by reminding this misfortune that playing ADC in this elo will result in 0 fun. Then I bark a few times at Jana, that dumb bitch, before reuniting with my boys to see Mel do Mel things until it's just Bobby the Bull left for us to do a group tickle until he pisses off, all while Tom is continuing to coach us in chat. Things get more sus than an American executive's tax return when we decide to take Baron, which immediately turns into the wrong decision. All of a sudden I'm looking at them group up like magnets in a drawer while my ult is on cooldown, so I'm essentially at an orgy with a desperate need of some blue chew so that I can contribute, but then I think better late than never, I bust my nut, my autistic ride or die does a little Diglett, and we're in business. Our dragonfly dies like a dipshit, and all in all it's close to an even trade, but not great for us at this point in the game while Mel is continuing to instigate, and despite our lead I would be lying if I said I haven't lost games like this due to the personalities on my team. We proceed to turn this shit into a ram because that's just what games in my elo turn into after 25 minutes, and I guess Orin wants the ghost of his dead ancestor to participate, but as a tank I never deal with people's ults as I'm more concerned with laughing at this bubble-titted useless sack of shit for wasting hers. This extends the fight to the point where all the squishies on our team have to go back to Fountain and do laundry, but not to fear 3 tanks are here, and the slap battle that follows is precisely why I tweeted the other day that climbing as a tank is so stupid easy it's just boring as hell, as by the time I die everyone is back up and ready to clean up the mess that I just sat in rent-free for the last 2 minutes. I then project my own insecurities in chat as someone who has stubbornly been an oppressed solo QADC for his entire life, but that's just a side quest in the otherwise objective of this game, which is to keep Tom Kench from mental booming. You see, at the end of the day, you can look that super strong wrestle MMA trained autistic kid in the eyes and boldly challenge him to tap you out and potentially end your life, or you can submit yourself to the situation and use his powers for your own good. As you can see, we are like Tom and Jerry, Donald and Trump, peanut butter and KY jelly in this bitch. We are the Twin Towers, but the only thing falling is the enemies one by one, all because I played what he wanted me to play and I did what he wanted me to do. I then compliment him because I need his ego to scale into late game, and any tilt will jeopardize my LP. And you might think I'm being dramatic here, but if I zoom forward to one particular team fight where we are left as the only remaining Titans who eventually go down, you can see he was actually way closer to flat out being done and AFKing, which would have been a guaranteed loss. So you can't be like this, Mel, if you want to win games with people like this. Luckily there Kanye put the INT in the word International Space Station because his brain wasn't even on the right planet at the end, and that was all we needed to jerk off Barney's dick one last time before stomping down, winning the game, and ultimately letting Tom do one more told you so victory parade in chat. And that's how the story of me living in dangerous conditions in college trained me for dealing with your classic case of League of Legends narcissistic autism. Rav out.